On News Hour tonight, bandits invade Yauri and Zulu Emirates of Kebbi State, carting away livestock, food items, and leaving hundreds displaced. Members of Police Special Constabulary in Zamfara State not paid stipends 1 year after recruitment. NDLEA intercepts counterfeit $4.7 million cash in Abuja as 38-year-old nursing mother is rearrested for dealing in illicit drugs in Offa. And Iran's parliament sets conditions for return to nuclear deal as world powers set to reach agreement in Vienna soon. Hello and welcome. My name is Zainab Bala. Now, bandits have attacked Yauri and Zulu Emirates of Kebbi State in a coordinated attack, leaving hundreds of people displaced. The gunmen, who came on motorcycles, carted away livestock, food items and motorcycles. Hamza Galadima tells us more.
The attacks by bandits in Yauri and Zulu Emirates of Kebbi State came in the wake of an earlier visit by the state governor to condole the families of deceased persons killed in an earlier attack in the border areas of Kebbi and Zamfara states, respectively. The recent attacks by the bandits in the two emirate councils started late Friday through Saturday when they ravaged villages in the Nkowasagu local government area before crossing over to Yauri and Shanga local government areas, leaving in their wake destructions of lives and property. In Yauri Emirate, the bandits attacked villages and Fulani settlements, carting away livestock, motorcycles and other essential commodities before setting the villages on fire. Some of the victims that survived the attack informed Trust TV that the bandits came in numbers, shooting sporadically. When we learned that the bandits are on their way to our village, we ran away. They took cattle and other property before setting the village on fire. Until this moment, I don't know where any member of our family is. At the time of my visit to Tunga Zarumai, one of the villages attacked by the bandits, I was opportune to witness the burial of one of the victims killed by the bandits, after which I spoke to his elder brother, Harisu. Honestly, we are grieving over the gruesome killing of our brother and would want to appeal to the government to do more in protecting us against these attacks.
Akalla ina ga mu karan kan wannan cikin yaran santar mun samu kusan mutum uku wanda ga cewa gindin itatuwa suka kwana domin ko ba su san in za su je ba su samu madogara. So muna ƙara kira ga gwamnati da ta ƙara kokari, mun san tana yin amma ta ƙara kokari domin ganin ta kare haƙƙin talakawanta.
Presently, hundreds of IDPs are leaving the affected villages in droves, trying to escape to safer locations, while the affected villages are now empty, leaving behind carcasses of animals and burnt buildings. Hamza Galadi Mazuru, Trust TV News from Birnin Kebbi.
Nigerian military airstrikes have eliminated Amir Buba Fulani and 4 other ISWAP commanders in Tumbun's and Sambiza axis of the northeast. PR Nigeria reports that Amir Buba Fulani is a senior ISWAP commander saddled with indoctrinating Fulanis and herdsmen in joining a terrorist group and also coordinated activities of the terrorists ranging from the deployment of spies as well as tax collectors. The airstrikes were conducted by the Nigerian Air Force under its air component of Operation Hatinkai within the week at different locations in the northeast. According to reports, PR Nigeria Super Tucano jet helicopters and other aircraft were deployed in the week-long operations that were carried out simultaneously at different locations. Reports say prior to the execution of the special mission, intelligence identified terrorist training camps at Tumbun Kayoa and Tumbun Alura, most active with ISWAP and Boko Haram activities, as well as used by terrorists in firing projectiles against Nigerian army locations in Malam Fantori. Soldiers attached to Operation Whirlstroke in Benue State on Sunday rescued 8 kidnapped victims from their captors' den. The victims, who are said to be natives of Agasha, a rural town in Guma local government area of the state, were taken hostage by their captors while they were working on their farms last Wednesday. Spokesman to the state governor, Nathaniel Ikyo, said the victims had spent over 3 days with the abductors before their fortunate rescue. Ikyo said the troop earlier made contact with the kidnappers at Begel village, which led to an exchange of gunfire with the perpetrators, and that they overpowered the kidnappers suspected to be herders, adding that the superior firepower of the soldiers overwhelmed the kidnappers, who fled in disarray, leaving behind the kidnapped victims. He further disclosed that the victims have been reunited with their families. Now, newly employed 500 marshals of Gombe State Security, Traffic and Environmental Corps GOSTEC have completed 2 weeks training. Governor Inuwa Yahaya, represented by his deputy Manasseh Daniel, asked these personnel to be positive agents of development and be good ambassadors of the state in the discharge of their duties. Ibrahim Ismail reports.
Holds BSc in Mathematics from Gombe State University.
These are young men and women enlisted into the newly established security outfit in Gombe, GOSTEC. Their task is to support security agencies in traffic control, fire service, environmental protection, and general security.
We expect the best from you, and in performance, in your attitude, you must be good ambassadors of this program and policies of improving human capital development in our dear state. We are optimistic that the engagement of this core personnel graduating today on various factors will improve and enhance the enforcement of traffic, security, and environmental laws and order in the state. I implore you all to give them the necessary support and encouragement to discharge their duties well for our collective benefit.
The program is a collaboration between the state government and the At-Risk Children Project of the federal government.
We will continue to work together, given the output that we have seen here today. I'd like to end by praying for peace and security in Gombe State, praying for the reduction of joblessness, and also the fact that we will see better days ahead, inshallah.
These are 500 pioneers of GOSTEC, an initiative expected to provide 2,000 jobs in Gombe.
The participants were punctual to trainings, dynamic in the group work, active during outdoor trainings, and above all, generally well behaved. The participants had good interactions among themselves and with the instructors on their previous mindsets, personal experiences, and the challenges they faced in their various communities. This led to the modification of their mindsets and some psychological mentoring where we deemed appropriate.
From Gombe, Ibrahim Ismail reporting for Trust TV.
And on a sad note, officers of the Katsina State Command of the Nigeria Customs Service have reportedly shot a 25-year-old Mustafa Usman of Kafin Soli Ward in Kankia local government area. The incident happened on Thursday evening. Abdullahi Yamadi reports that the incident comes at a time people in the state are worried over incessant killings and abductions. For ransom.
The customs officers dressed in mufti used their private vehicle and mounted an illegal roadblock at Fokwa village on Charanchi Kafinsole Road around 8 p.m. Thursday night and allegedly extorted money from motorists. Similarly, an eyewitness told Trust Television that it was very unusual for customs officers to mount a roadblock at this particular point, a situation that scared both the villagers and motorists plying the road. It was also gathered that the customs officers, besides being dressed in mufti, their car was also bearing 2 different number plates at the front and the other one at the rear of their vehicle, which posed threats to the villagers and the road users. On noticing the strange roadblock, the driver, conveying Mustafa Usman and other co-occupants of the vehicle, suspecting armed robbers, attempted to escape, but the customs officers opened fire on them, killing Mustafa Usman on the spot. It was very strange to see a roadblock at Fokwa village and people dressed in mufti at this time of the night. So we were scared and attempted to run for our dear lives, but they opened fire in anticipation of smuggled foreign rice, killing Mustafa Usman. Thereafter the unfortunate killing of Mustafa Usman, the customs officers were said to have chased the other survivors into Fokwa village, shooting sporadically, removed the spare tire, the wheel spanner of the affected vehicle, and ran away with it. The villagers and the survivors mobilized and coordinated the successful arrest of the assailants by the police through blocking their exit route to Katsina. The parents of the deceased Malam Usman Muhammad and Malama Karima Usman pleaded with the authorities concerned to temper justice with mercy. Mustafa is our breadwinner. We appeal to all concerned to have mercy on us. We need justice, no more, no less. It is a very sad situation indeed, and we look up to the authorities concerned to do something about this issue. Zainab Yusuf, who was visibly disturbed by the unfortunate killing of her husband, said her life will remain miserable as she will hardly get a husband who will be caring and supportive like Mustafa. My late husband meant everything to me. I am really in pains. They have killed me. The customs officers have destroyed my life. It is all over. May his soul rest in peace. Amen. The Katsina State leadership of Human Rights Network of Nigeria and the coalition of civil society organizations threatened to take the matter up with the Katsina State Command of the Nigeria Customs Service to end the incessant killings of innocent citizens of the state.
Customs, we are suspected they kill innocent person. We are assured the public that we will follow the case up to the limit that they feed the coalition for that dead body.
Concerning this unfortunate and unpleasant incident, we want to assure the public that the civil society organizations in Katsina State will follow the matter, will ensure that justice is done on this case. And also we were calling on the Nigerian Customs Services, Katsina State Command, and Nigeria as a whole, as well as all the stakeholders to ensure that compensation is fully paid to the families of the victims.
When contacted, the public relations officers of Katsina State Commands of the Nigeria Customs Service and the Nigeria Police confirmed the incident and assured that investigations are ongoing. It could be recalled that dozens of innocent people of Katsina State have been killed by the men and officers of the Nigeria Customs Service in recent times, yet nothing was apparently done to stop the mayhem. Abdullahi Ismayamadi, Trust Television News, Katsina.
Some special constabularies enlisted in Zamfara State have raised concerns over the non-payment of their stipends more than 1 year after recruitment. They were recruited from various communities in the state to provide intelligence on hideouts of bandits now declared terrorists to security operatives in the state. The special constabularies were trained on intelligence gathering techniques by the Nigeria Police Force in Sokoto and Kaduna states. They were specifically trained on how to provide support to the Nigeria Police and other security forces on efforts to tackle criminality. The report.
Intelligence gathering is one of the powerful strategies that can lead security operatives to the hideouts of the terrorists to dislodge them and restore law and order in the country. That is the reason states bedeviled by insecurity mute the idea of establishing special constabularies. The idea behind it is to recruit youths from their different communities to work with the troops and provide them with vital information about the hideouts of the terrorists and the collaborators in their areas towards ensuring an end to insecurity. Some personnel of the Special Constabularies in Zamfara State have, however, decried non-payment of the stipends promised them.
We are personnel of Special Constabularies. We are calling on the authorities who recruited us as Special Constabularies, which we know them, to be upright, just and fair. We have been working for more than 1 year now, and we have also been giving support in the fight against banditry activities. We have recorded success in fighting insecurity. Some of us have died as a result of doing this work. Security job is a patriotic work, and anyone that loves his country would like to carry out security work sincerely. We want the Zamfara State government to look into our pride.
They urge the state government to look into their problem to perform their duty satisfactorily. They maintain that they have been working and recording huge successes even without the support from government. They said some of their colleagues have lost their lives as a result of carrying out their responsibility, appealing to the state government to redeem its pledge by settling the backlog of their stipends.
Our problem is that since we started this work in the past 1 year, we have not received allowances, talk more of salaries. No agency have been giving us any stipends. We are calling on authorities concerned to ensure that they pay us. We are calling on the authority concerned to ensure they pay us and ensure our stipends keep coming as when due.
Zamfara State Police Command Public Relations Officer Superintendent Muhammad Shehu said on telephone call that the Special Constabularies were recruited as volunteers to assist the security operators in their communities with credible intelligence to rid the state out of banditry activities. Zamfara State Commissioner for Internal Security and Home Affairs, a retired Deputy Inspector General of Police, Mamman Safi, said he's investigating the matter. The Inspector General of Police, IGP, had approved 7,500 youths across the country as special constabularies to support the security agencies, especially the police, to tackle the security challenges being faced in some parts of the country. Zamfara State gets approval to recruit 2,700 due to the prevailing security to help the security forces flush out terrorists in the state.
9 people, including a pregnant woman, have lost their lives in fatal multiple accidents along the Ilori-Ogbomoso Expressway on Sunday. Confirming the incidents to Daily Trust, the State Sector Commander of the FRC, Jonathan Owaude, said a total number of 20 persons were involved in the accident, but 9 of them were killed and 8 suffered burns, bruises and open wounds, among other varying degrees of injuries. He said the injured victims have been taken to the Ilorin General Hospital, while the dead bodies were deposited at the University of Ilorin Teaching Hospital. The Lagos-bound passenger bus had loaded at the Gerin Elimi Motor Park, heading outwards the metropolis when it rammed into the private vehicle. The victims are reported to have been burnt beyond recognition after the fuel-filled gallons loaded inside the 18-seater passenger bus caught fire from the impact of the accident. Corps Marshal of the Federal Road Safety Commission, Boboy Oyemi, says the Corps has significantly scaled down the number of road traffic crashes from 28,215 in 1987 to now 13,027 in 2021, representing a 54% reduction. Boboy Oyemi said this during the agency's 34th anniversary award and dinner in Abuja. Oyemi said that there is an alarming rate of road traffic crashes due to increased vehicular density on the roads prior to the establishment of the Commission in 1988.
Today, to the glory of God, I'm happy to inform us that the classmate has been able to significantly scale down the number of road traffic crashes from 28,000 to 15 in 1987 to 13,027 as at 2021. This represents a 4% reduction. It is worth mentioning that the rehabilitation has been obtained back-to-back, a testament of a highly motivated workforce. In its contribution to road safety management in Africa, the Corps championed the establishment of West Africa's Road Safety Organization. The Corps will continue to support other African countries to achieve their set objectives. We appreciate our sister agencies comprising the military and paramilitary organizations our many allies and partners who for 34 years extended good hands of fellowship to us in varied forms and stood by the cause in molding and shaping an agency that today is the best example of lead agency in Nigeria. We also owe in part the growth in our equipment, infrastructure and capacity building for staff to offshore donors through international cooperation and collaborations. Road safety is a collective responsibility for safer roads and fuller life.
Operatives of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency (NDLEA) have foiled an attempt by a syndicate to steal at least $2.7 billion from the Nigerian economy by pushing into circulation fake $4.7 million cash. According to NDLEA Director, Media and Advocacy Femi Babafemi, the operatives had in the early hours of Friday, 18th February 2022, intercepted a consignment sent from Lagos to Abuja at Abaji area of the Federal Capital Territory. A controlled delivery of the parceled counterfeit US dollars totaling over $4 million to the arrest of a principal suspect, 52-year-old Abdul Mumin Maikaswa. The seizure follows intelligence received by the FCT command of the agency detailing the movement of the cash and the vehicle conveying it. Meanwhile, both the cash and the suspect are to be transferred to the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission for further investigation. Similarly, in Kwara State, barely 3 weeks after nursing mother Rashidat Adebayo was granted administrative bail following her arrest for dealing in illicit drugs, operatives have again arrested her in Offa with assorted drugs such as tramadol, swinol, diazepam, and pentazocine injection ampoules. In the same vein, NDLEA officers have arrested 2 drug dealers, Sani Isa and Balaya Rima in Hong, Adamawa State, with 239 blocks of cannabis sativa. The State Command have intercepted a truck coming from Lagos to Maiduguri at Azare Bauchi. A total of over 164 kilograms of cannabis sativa sealed in pick milk cartons have been recovered from the truck. National Agency for Foods and Drug Administration and Control has intercepted 120 tons of imported chemical-laden animal hides and skins, popularly known as Bomo. In a statement on Sunday, Director General of NAFDAC, Mojishola Adeyeye, said the large quantities of dangerous Bomo were intercepted at 6 different locations in Lagos, adding that 7 suspects allegedly involved in the act are currently under investigation. She said that samples of the products have been sent to the laboratory for testing to ascertain the product's quality and unwholesomeness. She said the street value of the product currently intercepted is estimated to be around 25.33 million. While advising consumers and retailers of Bomo not to patronize importers of hides and skins for consumable animal skins, she said the hides are pre-treated with industrial chemicals which are not of food grade and are toxic and injurious to human health. Adeyeye further said the health hazards inherent in the consumption of such animal hides include risk of liver, kidney and heart damage, increased risk of aplastic anemia, central nervous system toxicity and cancer, amongst several others. Here what your news are on Trust Television coming up. The story of deaf and dumb Sani who was accused of sexual assault. Details of this and more after the break. Do stay.
Coronavirus disease, COVID-19, is an infectious disease caused by SARS-CoV-2 virus. Most people who fall sick with COVID-19 will experience mild to moderate symptoms and recover without special treatment. However, some will become seriously ill and require medical attention. The virus can spread from an infected person's mouth or nose in small liquid particles when they cough, sneeze, speak, sing, or breathe. These particles range from larger respiratory droplets to smaller aerosols. You can be infected by breathing in the virus if you're near someone who has COVID-19 or by touching a contaminated surface and then touching your eyes, nose, or mouth. The virus spreads more easily indoors and in crowded settings. Maintain a safe distance from others at least 2 meters even if they don't appear to be sick. Wear a mask in public, especially indoors or when physical distancing is not possible. Clean your hands often. Use soap and water or an alcohol-based hand sanitizer.
Cover your nose and mouth with your bent elbow or a tissue when you cough or sneeze. Stay home if you feel unwell. Get vaccinated. Properly fitted masks can help prevent the spread of the virus from the person wearing the mask to others. Masks alone do not protect against COVID-19 and should be combined with physical distancing and hand hygiene. Protect yourself and others around you by knowing the facts and taking appropriate precautions. Follow advice provided by your local health authority.
This message is brought to you by Trust TV.
All right, welcome back. If you are just joining, this is Newshour. Here are our top stories. Bandits attacked Yauri and Zulu Emirates of Kebbi State in a coordinated attack, leaving hundreds of people displaced. Some special constabularies enlisted in Zamfara State have raised concerns over the non-payment of their stipends more than 1 year after their recruitment. Still ahead, fuel scarcity is now biting harder in Gombe State as Nigerians continue to suffer disruptions in supply chain of petroleum products. In recent weeks, Nigerian authorities confirmed a disruption in the supply of petrol after the importation of over 100 million litres of adulterated Imperial motor spray to the country by some companies. Ibrahim Ismail speaks to some motorists in Gombe on how they struggle to fill their vehicles.
It's 9 a.m. in the morning along the Gombe-Bauchi Road in Gombe, and some of these motorists have been here since 5 a.m. struggling to buy petrol after avoiding black market where it cost 350 naira per litre against 162 naira per litre in filling stations.
Well, I've been on this queue since the early hours of today, say like 4 hours now. And the scarcity is biting harder and harder. It wasn't like this, I think, 4 or 5 days back. But today, almost every filling station you go to, you see a very long queue. And that is how we have been suffering since yesterday and then today.
What is your message to the authorities concerned?
The authorities concerned should sit up. We understand that some of the fuel stations have fuel. They are only hoarding it, with the thinking that subsidy will be removed and then fuel prices will go up. So we are calling on authorities concerned to visit such filling stations and make them to sell fuel to the populace.
I came here 5:30 in the morning. I met 3 cars and a keke. And the scarcity is biting harder. We have been here since early in the morning. They are hoarding the fuel. We don't know where the problem is. Nigerians need justice. We don't know what is the problem. And they bring adulterated petrol. When you buy a petrol worth 1,000 naira, half of it is water. This is how long queues emerge in some filling stations within Gombe metropolis. It comes after the collapse of supply chain in the country due to the importation of adulterated petrol in large quantities. The hope of these motorists and indeed other Nigerians is for the authorities concerned to make petrol available to bring an end to the hardship of following long queues. From Gombe, Ibrahim Ismail reporting for Trust TV.
Back in Abuja, in 2019, the story of alleged sodomy at the School for the Deaf Kuje, Abuja, Nigeria broke out. Sani, a 20-year-old studying at the school, was a prime suspect who was alleged to have abused a 7-year-old who was taken into custody. But after a series of findings by Nigeria's Minister of Education, it was declared that there was no such incident at the school, but the case still heightened in court. Now, following the failure of petitioner Dr. Hannatu Usman Ayuba, the mother of the abused, to appear before the investigating committee, the case was declared inconclusive. I visited Sani and his mother, who is struggling to cater for his education and at the same time bring back his reputation.
This is 20-year-old Sani Isa, a student at the School for the Hearing and Speech Impaired that we literally call Deaf and Dumb. He is the alleged abuser. To his kind, he is very expressive using sign language. To others who are divergent, he communicates using a pen and paper. Every morning, Sani heads out to help his mother, who sells firewood, to make both ends meet.
There is always a curious tie at some point between the fall and the creation.
A lot has happened and the suffering has been unbearable. It's been 2 years since I made efforts to get my son admitted into the School for the Deaf Kuje. It's been an unending struggle. I even got sick, but I feel better by God's grace. I got the news that my son committed various crimes in the school where he studies. Countless investigations took place, but we were told nothing was found. The complainants pressed charges and my son was taken to the command headquarters. She only came once. Since then, she is nowhere to be found. We picked up a lawyer and fought for the bill. She only came once. Since then, she is nowhere to be found. We picked up a lawyer and fought for the bill. I paid 200,000 and he got released. We started going for community hearings, but the complainant still showed up just once. This is the second year she doesn't show up. We are still battling because we don't get help from the government. I struggle to sell firewood. When I make sales, I use it to pay the lawyer. When the date for court hearing is fixed, we have to rally around for money. When the date for court hearing is fixed, we have to rally around for money. My problem is till date, we have not been told if he is guilty or not. The mother of the abused don't show up, and those who reprimanded him don't either. The judge says he can't conclude on the case until the complainant comes forward. I am fed up with this case.
My name is Rukayat Isa. I'm a sister to Sani. He attended a school in Kuje, the deaf. And one day he was falsely accused of rape, where my mom was asked to bring 200,000 for his bail. And that was when the matter was taken to court, where they are still going now, like 2 years now. And the woman that accused him is no more coming, but she only came once. Only when they go, they will say either the judges have meeting or they should come next week or next month, because they cannot say what happened when the police is not here and the woman is not here.
Well, quite a story, isn't it? Now, stakeholders in the ruling All Progressive Congress, APC, have expressed divergent opinions over the feasibility or otherwise of the party's national convention scheduled for next Saturday. Trust TV's Shafiq Suleiman reports that the concerns were raised against the backdrop of uncertainties heralding the Make or Mar National Convention expected to produce substantive leadership of the party ahead of next year's elections.
There are strong indications that the scheduled February 26th National Convention of the ruling party may not be realistic due to intense scheming amongst various blocs within the party. An APC chieftain in Kano, Bashir Nalungu, believes the uncertainties around the slated February 26th date for the convention is born out of the suspicion that the progressive governors are neck-deep in enthroning their individual and collective interests.
All the governors are not ready to assist the party to succeed in the 2023 general election, because all they are doing is to make sure that they favorite what they want. And those supposed to be elected at national level are not the favorite of the governors.
Adamu Garba is a presidential aspirant of the party. He says delaying the party's national convention is a necessary evil, as the ruling party cannot afford to go into convention that could lead to its explosion.
Why I believe buying time will solve a problem is that most of those, there are some within the party that are completely aggrieved, that are waiting for a base and a reason for stage out of the party, most notably on the convention ground. So if we buy more time, it will deny them that opportunity. While it denies them the opportunity, we filter to know who are sincere and genuine members of the party, so that we can go into convention with only genuine members of people that care about the party, and filter out those that are really bad and wanted the party to crash, for them to accelerate the process of the crashing during the convention.
Both the respondents are unanimous on the need for President Muhammadu Buhari to assert his leadership and rescue the party from crashing. As such, will undermine his legacies and jeopardize the collective interest of over 40 million registered members of the party.
Because General Muhammadu Buhari is not entertaining any complaint goes to him concerning leadership of our party. That's what happens in CPC, and that is same happening within the APC.
I believe the entire caretaker extraordinary convention planning committee as constituted was an instruction of the president. So if there is any action that is taking place within the CECPC, we might have to be looking at the president's disposition. Maybe perhaps the president is duly informed. So maybe that could be the problem. Yes, there is issue of zoning between the north central and the northeast and other regions too that are clamoring for it, including the northwest and even the southeast. But there is no definite arrangement about the zoning.
As speculations ripe for a possible postponement of the APC National Convention due to internal party crisis, concerns also remain on the inability of its leadership to resolve the lingering challenges threatening its chances ahead of national election. Shapir Suleiman, Trust TV News, Abuja.
There you go. Now, over 2,000 houses have been gutted by fire in Kalari Muna IDP camp in Maiduguri. The inferno also killed 3 people and injured many on Friday. Governor Omar Zulum, who visited the scene, said the IDPs will be resettled soon. The report.
Fire outbreak started at about 1:30 p.m. on Friday during the Jumat prayers. This is the 6th time Muna IDP camp has suffered fire outbreak in the past years. The latest incident destroyed thousands of houses, killing 1 person and many injured. Mariam Shetima lost her belongings in the flames. She was at the farm when it occurred. The 50-year-old widow of 8 children said she spent the night without roof and help is yet to come. I couldn't bring anything out. The dress I'm wearing is the only thing I have. Last night I slept outside. I'm from the Kwao local government. I can't go back there because Boko Haram are still disturbing people. A child was killed in the fire. The mom went to grind something. When she came back, we helped her to rescue the child, but it was already late and nothing was taken out of the house. If the government will help us, we'll be glad because we are tired of this fire incident reoccurring. Moments later, the state governor visited the camp to assess the level of damages. He assured to intervene in their plight, saying the IDPs will be relocated.
Ideally, this camp is among the IDP camps that are to be closed in Borno State. Fortunately, now we are able to close the IDP camps that are inside the town. This is not an official IDP camp, but it's one of our IDP camps that we are penciling it down for settlement. Looking at what has happened in this IDP camp, very soon, Borno State government together with the federal government and indeed the humanitarian partners will be here to assess the situation and come up with recommendations that will ensure the immediate relocation of this IDP camp to a place which is better than this place. Not necessarily.
Muna camp houses IDPs from 8 different local governments. It's the largest unofficial camp in Borno State.
A civil society organization under the auspices of Scaling Up Nutrition in Nigeria wants women to appreciate the importance of nutrition for their children. The group takes its advocacy movement to communities in Maiduguri.
A report released by the Food Agricultural Organization in 2021 revealed that over 1 million children are acutely malnourished and more than 600 may die if nothing is done. It also said that 123,000 pregnant or lactating mothers will suffer malnutrition. The havocs of insurgency also contributed to food insecurity, which is responsible for the alarming rise of malnourishment among children. The civil society scaling up nutrition in Nigeria of Borno State chapter reached out to some IDP camps for sensitization and support campaign.
Now that peace has relatively begun to come in the state, so we want to tell the communities that the things that they cultivate easily can be used so that they can be able to use it to feed their children, to uplift the nutritional standard of their children. Little things. The children don't really need much. They need just very little because the body is like a machine. When you feed it with something that is more than what the body requires, it takes up what it wants and it throws away the remaining. So we want to tell them that these little things they see, they don't need much.
Some mothers couldn't hide what they learned and also agreed to improve their children's diet. We were advised to take good care of our children, making sure that they don't stay hungry and are always clean, also with the environment to prevent diseases. The civil society group also extended its advocacy to other communities in Maiduguri.
2 Benin bronzes have been returned to traditional palace in Nigeria more than a century after they were pillaged by British troops, raising hopes that thousands more artifacts could finally be returned to the ancestral home. The artifacts, mostly in Europe, were stolen by explorers and colonists from the Benin Kingdom, now southwestern Nigeria, and are among Africa's most significant heritage objects. At a colorful ceremony in Benin City on Saturday to mark the return of a cockerel sculpture, and head of an Oba Palace spokesman Charles Edosman said some of the bronzes had been taken as far as New Zealand, the United States and Japan. The 2 artifacts were handed over to the Nigerian High Commission in October by the University of Aberdeen and Cambridge University's Jesus College, but have yet to return to the ancestral home. The return is another milestone in the years-long fight by African countries to recover looted works, as numerous European institutions are grappling with the cultural legacies of colonialism. Some 90% of Africa's cultural heritage is believed to be in Europe, French art historians estimate. You're still watching News Hour on Trust Television. Do stay with us.
Welcome to Trust TV News Updates.
I'm Zainab Bala. For more news, follow us across all our social media platforms.
The nightmare that most of these Pape residents have dreaded for many years is finally happening.
The place is a skeleton of itself, a place that was once busy with patients trooping in and out.
I'm standing right now. I'm standing on top of the Maloney Hill in the ancient city of Kefi.
Cooperation. I know communities where they are contributing to buy locally manufactured guns to defend themselves.
Being a Nigerian entrepreneur, and I am going to be taking you on a journey to show you the beautiful, the motivational and resilient nature of Nigerian entrepreneurs.
Behind me is the Arewa Textile Mill, established in 1963 and eventually closed down in 2004.
We are still going into some other hideouts to see if any apprehensions will be made tonight.
Let's travel down to Shekau, a community in Yobe State, to talk to Shekau's mother on what she thinks about this development.
Well, even to be a magistrate is a funny thing.
Yes. Have things changed? Is there more corruption now in the judiciary? What can we do about it?
Well, this is one of the internally displaced camps here in Gusau, the Zamfara state capital.
Welcome back. You still watching news on Trust TV. Still ahead, an overwhelming majority of Iranian legislators have defined strict conditions for a return to the country's 2015 nuclear deal, as an agreement with world powers in Vienna appears close. In a statement read out on Sunday, 250 legislators in the 290-member parliament in control of conservatives and hardliners since 2020 called on President Ebrahim Raisi to adhere to their conditions in restoring the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action. They say the American government, France, Germany and the United Kingdom have shown they are not bound by any agreement over the past few years. So Iran must learn from the experience and set clear red lines. Iranian President Ebrahim Raisi, who was a chief critic of the nuclear deal alongside other conservatives before championing its restoration since taking the presidency in August 2021, has publicly stated conditions that are largely in line with the parliament's vision. His administration has said it wants all U.S. sanctions imposed since 2018 lifted and demands guarantees Washington will not renege again. Still ahead, Britain's 95-year-old Queen Elizabeth II has tested positive for COVID and has mild symptoms. A statement by Buckingham Palace on Sunday said the 95-year-old British monarch would continue to perform light duties at Windsor over the coming week, adding that she would continue to receive medical attention and would follow all the appropriate guidelines. The news comes after Prince Charles, the Queen's eldest son and heir, and daughter-in-law Camilla, Duchess of Cornwall, recently contracted COVID 2 days after meeting his mother at Windsor. British Prime Minister Boris Johnson wished Queen Elizabeth a quick recovery. Britain's longest reigning monarch, the Queen reached the milestone of 70 years on the throne on February 6th. And in sports, International Olympic Committee President Thomas Bach announced the Beijing Winter Olympics officially closed on Sunday. Bach announced this at the closing ceremony at the Bird's Nest Stadium in Beijing. The event, masterminded by acclaimed Chinese film director Zhang Yimou, who is also responsible for the 2008 Summer Games ceremonies, China earned an unprecedented 9 gold medals during the Games, coming ahead of the United States. Now, before we go, here is a kicker. Quitting his regular job to pursue fashion was a big life reset for Ishmael Sakasa. But the former psychotherapist has no regrets after his Stones of Fire collection featured at the 2021 Paris Fashion Week. Back in his studio, Sakasa is hard at work again, his ambition building a new narrative, both for his brand and for African fashion. Look.
I was scouted by a fashion agency
last year, and this year I got the opportunity to showcase at Paris Fashion Week. I'm the first Zimbabwean designer to showcase at Paris Fashion Week. I started designing way back in primary school during our home economics lessons, and from there I began to nurture my talent and my skills up until I actually decided, hey, I need to take this more seriously as a business.
And that's it on News Hour tonight. Do not forget to follow us across all our social media platforms. I'm Zainab Bala. Have a good night.
From Daily Trust News Center.